Hey, my fellow multidimensionals, it's Aisha Love, founder of Multidimensional You. So I am in Yellowstone National Park. This is the Lamar River Valley. I just came off doing multidimensional field work. You're going to hear the wind in the aspen right now. And the series continues of awakening the healer within, stepping up into your soul aligned and on purpose plan for this lifetime as a healer, as a way shower. That loose term, which just simply means being of service in a kind of unique way during this lifetime. So what really wants to presence itself this time is how to navigate self-doubt. So I thought it would be a beautiful time for me on the heels of just completing multidimensional field work to talk about this, because as you might imagine, I did not grow up talking about multidimensional field engineering and work and, restoring living creation and working on planetary grids and well beyond. None of it, absolutely none of it. And so I'm going to share a little bit of my personal journey with you today, with the idea that I want to inspire you to pursue that which you are feeling called to do, especially when it flies in the face of conventional known science and physics, and most importantly, your own inner skeptic. And that's actually what I'm being shown is, because I'm also a channel, right? I mean, we all are, but this is really coming in strong. Everything that you think is pushing against you from the outside is simply a reflection, a powerful mirror to the ways in which you self-reject. And this is where this message wants to begin. So when you know that, when you understand almost kind of like the mechanics of how self-doubt works, you can reverse engineer pretty quickly and find, almost like I'm being shown, like when a knot comes undone, and find your way forward much more quickly. So if you understand that the key to transcending self-doubt will always lie within yourself and the ways in which you self-reject, then it becomes an inner exercise as opposed to an outer exercise, which I'll just tell you right now is a fool's errand. I have seen breathtaking levels of cognitive dissonance in others, including when I have healed physical symptoms and ailments and diseases, where you would think the proof is right there, or their, empirical evidence is right there. Or as well, working with people and the signs and synchronicities are so ridiculously amplified, and yet everything can be denied. So working outside of yourself, let's not even go there for validation and all of that. And let's just make this an inside job, because it always was, always will be. And that's great. And I just felt some sort of relief happen in the field. Like, oh, thank God. I don't have to convince, my cousin, my brother, family, friends. No, absolutely not. Let them live in their version of reality. That's okay. It's not for you to dictate their path or their journey so that you can feel better about your own. I'm being told to pause so you really get that and hear that. All right? Okay, so now that we've established that as the foundation, let's look inside. What is this work that we have to do to overcome self-doubt? Well, when I look back on my journey and I look at all the ways in which I was prompted, beginning with the death of my father, I was given information before he left, 6, 7, 8 months before he left. It was like a direct transmission that came down this side, and knowing and like a receiving, he will not be staying. That's what I registered. He had lung cancer. Many of you have heard this story, but I'm going to tell it again. This is my shared near-death experience with my father. And 40 years prior, he had beat Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had had a terminal diagnosis, but he did experimental radiation treatment at MD Anderson in Houston and survived. And so it was like, gonna beat cancer again. But the knowing came in, and I just knew. I knew with every fiber of my being that he wasn't going to stay. So I ended up spending a lot of time with him. Make long story short, he ended up transitioning on a Thursday, late June of 2009. His childhood friend, Gary, who passed away 6 months before him, showed up behind him in the hospital room. I perceived him. Pineal gland rods and cones, like our eyes, we can perceive different dimensional frequencies. And I just knew Gary was there for my dad. And so looking back, what I was doing was helping midwife my dad out, saying goodbyes, saying thank yous, orchestrating phone calls, all of it. And in that moment, I will tell you, I did not doubt myself. So something else took over and I allowed that to happen. And then my father started showing up for me after his transition and crossing over. There he is now. Go Dave. He's been with me ever since as one of my greatest cheerleaders. It really wasn't in the doing, and I'm sure many of you can relate to this. There is an experience, a direct gnosis, a knowing, but then it's the mind chatter that comes after. Because most of us did not grow up with a worldview or a theoretical construct for these types of metaphysical experiences. And that's where the self-rejection and self-denial will start to creep in, because you've become an outlier. And that's what's highlighting right now. No coincidences. We saw a lone bison on the Lamar River on the drive up here, and I clocked it like, I relate to that. Not part of the herd, off somewhere far away from the rest of the group doing, goddess knows what. So that's really helpful for you to understand, is that your direct experience of gnosis is truth. But then because you begin to fear you're too far outside the tribe, you will start to self-deny and self-doubt in ways that you don't necessarily have to use your free will choice to do that anymore. You can watch that go by, let it go by, and not use it as an opportunity to try to put yourself back in a box in which, frankly, you just don't fit. What I'm being shown now and told now is that the boxes are all coming down. The walls are all coming down. So if you have just entered your own metaphysical awakening and stepping into your healer role, you've picked a wonderfully auspicious time, because the human collective is moving very quickly through this dimensional blend ascension process, evolution process, shift in consciousness process. I have ample experience with navigating self-doubt, because it wasn't as if I just had to navigate that experience with my father. On the heels of that, I was visited by other beings from across the veil, and then other interdimensional, so different species of beings, including our lovely interdimensional Sasquatch people, the little people, of course, extra ultra terrestrials, we could include those in there, but I just use the term interdimensionals for shorthand. And there was this real push on me to be like, chop chop, you have important work ahead of you, let's get going. And of course, again, I grew up just like all of you in the Cartesian worldview, materialist worldview, so it was a stretch to navigate it. What I want to offer you too is, working with so many people around the world, that you can have experiences that, you have the knowing that they're legitimate and they're real, but they may be intense in terms of, what this means for your ego identity construct. And so they may frighten you. You may be scared of some of the intensity. You may be scared for what that means for, what does this mean for my relationship in my family construct? These are all very normal things to navigate. And so there's no rush to try to resolve any of that. Just, I would invite the loving witness. If I look back and I had myself talking to me through, I would say, the last 15 years of my own metaphysical awakening, that did not just stop with my father's experience, nor the interdimensionals, nor my spirit guides saying you have to become a spirit medium now and then channel people's spirit guides and then start talking to, extra ultra terrestrials, and then go beyond that, go beyond even what we would consider in our local galaxy or intergalactic region, go way, way, way beyond that. It was really helpful for me to begin to inner reference my experiences and the outcomes and results they would have. So I began to understand how powerful this gift was. I mean, let's just go back to being a spirit medium. The messages that would come through, I began anonymously, like I didn't even know a person's last name. I just first name and email address. I would just record a message from like their mom on the other side. And then I would hear back and hear how healing it was. That is what really prompted me to get out of my own way, to get out of my own self-doubt and self-rejection, kind of in the, vein of, how dare I sit on such an amazing gift and ability that I obviously would have chosen for this lifetime and that could help so many. That's not really mine to sit on. So maybe a reframe like that will help some of you as well. And then again, loving compassion to understand it is intense for the ego identity construct that has a sense of psychic safety in its current role. Now, what's coming in right now though is PSA, public service announcement, and I have been talking about this for years. There is kind of a grace period we give ourselves to get in alignment with our soul purpose and plan. And once that starts to fade, you will find increasingly like attention grabbing ways to get your own attention. And these usually involve some sort of what we would see as like, we would frame it as negative, right? It's usually like a health crisis, relationship crisis, job crisis, something, everybody calls it the spiritual 2x4. Some people say they've needed 4x4s. I'm a big proponent of not needing to do this the hard way. Spirit guide humor, you can do this the easy way or the hard way, it's up to you. And when I say that, I recognize that we are making quite a mountain of fear seem inconsequential. But I also want to offer you that it is always a choice to give that fear power and to give your power away. And you just don't have to. So I speak, obviously, here on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I speak openly and freely about who I am and what I do. Whether I'm at a gas station, I'm, in front of a group giving a workshop or a talk, on my channel, I don't necessarily proselytize. I don't need people to know, but I do not self-censor. And when I stopped self-censoring, I will tell you, I felt amazing because it felt like I was no longer self-betraying. So that's really what you want to keep in mind, is that to self-deny, to self-doubt is and can be a form of self-betrayal. And that will increasingly feel very out of alignment. The other thing I can offer you is to zoom toward the end of your life. Life review. You're done with this lifetime. Are you like, yeah, I left it all on the table. I didn't hold anything back. I was courageously, authentically myself. Or not so much. And no judgment, but that one has really been a motivator for me. Just because I think there have been so many times when certain missions were not completed that I'm just like, not this time, not this lifetime. Not if it's up to me. I'm going to give it my all. And have I stumbled? Heck yes, absolutely. I've made, errors along the way in terms of like, just errors in judgment. And usually it had to do with trying to force something versus really paying attention to how the energies are and flowing with them. And I'll be the first to admit, I have definitely come from my wounding at times, feeling like the collective doesn't understand me. And why was I given such a broad, expansive awareness if the collective isn't there yet and they're not ready for this technology, yada, yada. I've said it all over the years. And that's all okay too. I think my intention, our intention, the greater higher self collective that's coming through here with this series is to help, just shorten the time maybe you all have to spend on some dead ends, pitfalls, stumbling blocks. That's my intention, is to encourage you all, to champion you all, and to let you know, like, over here, been there, done that, you might want to avoid that. So self-rejection based on a desire to stay closer to where the collective is really an exercise in self-betrayal, and at the end of the day, it just will not feel good. And now the final thing that's coming in to help you navigate your way out of self-doubt is what is making its way through your healing abilities, and that could be so many different things, is a series of advancements and innovations designed to help humanity live a more peaceful, loving, unity-based civilization and evolve. And so can you imagine if some of the innovations, like even just mechanical, technological that we enjoy, like this phone that I'm recording on, did not exist, were not pioneered. I'm being told right now that many of these gifts that you consider to be yours are not really yours in that personal pronoun way. And that when you agreed pre-incarnation to adopt these, to receive them, that was a sacred gift. And I'm sure you can feel the energy coming through on this. It's an activation of remembering to uphold this commitment, almost like an oath, a sacred oath that you took to make good on this. So my field's just going to start to clear away a lot of fear. Yeah, there we go. I just felt a lot release from the back of the throat chakra, the mouth of God chakra. Yeah, I'm just going to clear all of that for you. We don't need more of the same of what has been on planet Earth. Enough said. Let's get excited about what can be when you navigate your way up and out of the self-doubt, rejection and self-betrayal. You have all of my love and support as you do so, and I'm sure you can feel it. And I do make astral visits. Many of you report I show up in your meditations, just when you're walking, my voice drops in, or certainly dream time. And I'm happy to avail myself in that way. So if you'd like to, you can set the intention, please come and visit me and encourage me, and I am happy to do that. And I am on the move again. I will be in Paris and Brittany, France, the end of October. We'll be doing an event. There will be more information in the link below in the video description, in Brittany at an amazing place called the Love Farm. So look for more information there if you feel called to, kind of really step up to your next higher harmonic of love as a healer, as a way shower. You'll know if you're called. Your guides will be on you, like, you need to get there. And if you'd like to book a day with me in Paris, that's available as well. The city of lights and love. Why not? Pourquoi pas? I do speak fluent French, so that just makes it fun every time I go to France. I get to express a whole different side of myself. And as always, please leave a comment about how this video impacted you. What have you navigated? Where are you at currently on your journey with self-doubt, maybe self-betrayal? Let's have a conversation here and let's support one another. Show each other a lot of love in the comments. Leave your own and go leave comments on others and encourage everyone else. And of course, like and subscribe so more people find this content that need it. And maybe share it with someone you know who's anxiously considering coming out of the spiritual closet. All right. I love you all so much. Have a magical, multidimensional week. Mwah.